In the ruins of Pompeii, there is a room that has been forbidden to enter for centuries. But when archaeologists finally broke into the room, they froze at the sight within. The floor was littered with human bones, and the walls were covered in strange symbols. What could this room have been used for? Was it a temple of some sort? Or was it something more sinister? Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. In this video, we take a closer look at the mysterious room and try to unravel its secrets. The archaeological site of Pompeii is a significant location that may be located in the Campania region of southern Italy. Its proximity to the Bay of Naples shoreline is one of its most prominent features. Following the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in the year 79 AD, the ancient Roman city of Pompeii was completely demolished and buried under several meters of pumice and ash. Pompeii was once a thriving Roman city with a high level of sophistication. The excavated remnants of the site's streets and residences, which have been painstakingly preserved, are open for guests to freely stroll about in. In probably August or October of the year 79 AD, which was about 16 years after the earthquake that served as a warning, a sequence of smaller earthquakes shook the Pompeii area. According to the author and eyewitness Pliny the Younger, the locals there laughed off the tremors because, in his words, they were not very worrying since they are regular in Campania. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius took place not long after midday on the day that would forever be remembered. The explosion launched a column of ash, rock, and gases emitted by the volcano into the atmosphere at such a height that it was visible for hundreds of kilometers in all directions. Pliny the Younger, who saw the eruption from across the Bay of Naples, likened the cloud of exceptional size and aspect to a pine tree that raised to a considerable height on a kind of trunk and then broke off into branches. Pliny made this comparison after seeing the eruption. The tower of debris began to fall to earth as it cooled, first with the fine-grained ash and then progressing to the lighter pieces of pumice and other pebbles. The majority of Pompeians had plenty of time to evacuate, and a good number of them did so. According to the testimony of one eyewitness, darkness descended over the populace as a result of a deluge of dust that covered the country. Pompeii was abandoned for many years because of the tragedy, in which thousands of people perished. However, when explorers arrived in 1748, they found the city still standing because of the ash that had been kept by the volcano. As a result, archaeologists and other specialists began flocking to Pompeii to conduct their research. They get an understanding of what life was probably like in other eras, thanks to their time spent there. In spite of the fact that it has been researched for such a long time, Pompeii is still full of undiscovered riches. And in the year 2021, archaeologists discovered a hidden, forbidden chamber that shed light on the lifestyle of slaves before the disaster. Archaeologists investigated a villa located on the outskirts of Pompeii as part of this most recent find. They discovered a secret room inside, which had 3 wooden beds in addition to other items such as jars, pitchers, and a chamber pot. It was inhabited by slaves, who, under Roman law, were considered the property of their masters and not to be genuine individuals. This new important discovery enriches our understanding of the everyday life of ancient Pompeians, particularly that class in society which little is still known, said Italy's Minister of Culture, Dario Franceschini. The new discovery was made by archaeologists working at the Pompeii excavation site, which is located in Italy. In the historic mansion known as Civita Juliana is where you'll find the secret slave chamber. Earlier this year, archaeologists discovered a ceremonial vehicle and the skeletal remains of horses near the stables at that location. A wooden trunk with metal and cloth components that seemed like they could have been part of the harnesses for the horses was placed on top of the beds where the slaves slept in. That is to say, the slaves were likely responsible for taking care of the stables. In addition, 2 of the beds were 5.6 feet in length, while the last bed was 4.6 feet and was most likely designed for a youngster. Franceschini arrives at the conclusion that an enslaved family formerly called the chamber home. Additionally, it is used as a storage area, as shown by the presence of 8 amphorae, which are tall Roman jars. This is a view into the fragile reality of individuals who infrequently appear in historical documents, said Gabriel Zuchtriegel, Director General at the Archaeological Park of Pompeii. This is a window into the precarious reality of people who seldom appear in historical sources. Without its assistance, we would have a far more limited understanding of a period of the ancient world that was, despite this fact, of the utmost significance. Now, let's discuss some key observations noted by the archaeologists regarding the everyday lives of slaves. The size of the area, which was just 16 square meters, was one of the things that most shocked the researchers. What is most noticeable is the tight and perilous aspect of this space, which was something between a dormitory and a storage room, Zuchtriegel said. This room was something between a dormitory and a storage room. There was no evidence of any kind of ornamentation, and the only possible source of natural light was a tiny window high up on the wall. The room was completely dark. The beds were constructed out of many crudely wrought hardwood planks, and they had a mechanism that allowed the height of the mattress to be altered according to the user's preferences. The beds had webbed bases that were constructed of ropes and covered with blankets. One measured just 1.4 meters in length, making it possible that it belonged to a toddler. The other two were around 1.7 meters in length. The archaeological park speculated that the three slaves may have been related to one another and lived together. The investigators are hopeful that more investigation and excavation of the slave chamber may lead to the discovery of new information about slavery in the Roman Empire. In the release, Zuchtriegel is quoted as saying, "Even without the presence of significant valuables, it is without a doubt one of the most thrilling discoveries I have ever made in my career as an archaeologist. The actual wealth that may be found in this location is the human experience, in this particular instance of the most vulnerable members of ancient society, to which this chamber is a one-of-a-kind witness." Even while historians were aware that slavery played a significant role in the expansion of the Roman Empire, the treatment of slaves by their owners remained a mystery. This find offers a unique glimpse into what it must have been like to be a slave in the past. The most well-known historical chronicles were written by those who had positions of power and money. According to Zuchtriegel, this means that lower classes and slaves run the danger of remaining invisible in the big historical chronicles. Archaeologists discovered a number of personal belongings beneath the beds, including amphorae for storing intimate items, clay jugs, and something that resembled a chamber pot. The chamber was only lit by a tiny window located on the ceiling, and there are no traces or decorations on the walls. Instead, there is a mark that is said to have been made by a lantern that was hanging on one of the walls. The excavation is a component of a program that was initiated in 2017 with the intention of combating illegal activity in the region. This activity includes constructing tunnels in order to get access to artifacts that may be sold on black markets. For a number of years, the Villa of Civita Giuliana was the focus of a methodical plundering campaign. According to the statement made by the park, there were indications that part of the archaeological treasure in this so-called slave room had also been lost due to thieves. According to the report, the damage caused by grave robbers at the mansion has so far been assessed to be close to 2 million euros. And that's the story of how a group of archaeologists broke into a forbidden room in Pompeii and found themselves staring at a horrifying sight. We'll never know for sure what happened to the people who were entombed in that room, but their story is a reminder of the dangers of curiosity. Thanks for watching.